Hello and welcome to another To It For Media featured interview. I'm your host, Jhaka Wooding, and today we are talking everything about the 2025 Mr. and Miss HLSCC pageant. You get to know the contestants and what their aspirations are heading into the pageant on June 1st. You don't want to miss it, so stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Pop the Balloon or Find the Connection. Let's meet our first contender, ladies. Okay, Joey, so do you have any toxic traits?
I'm very restrictive. I don't give more time. What you get is what you get. I don't like to give unlimited time. That's it.
Okay, can you tell us why you popped your balloon?
That's a little too restricted for me.
Thank you for coming. Okay, ladies, so let's meet our second contender.
Sorry, excuse me. Why did you pop a balloon? I could give you minutes, data, unlimited call, overseas call, fiber. What else you need?
My friend used to date you. You are scam. She used to be for everything and more. Nothing to offer.
Okay, ladies, let's welcome our last contender. You look nice. Can you tell us your name?
Thank you. My name is Christian Charles Thomas. They call me C Sweetie.
What do you have to offer these ladies?
Well, security, trust, unlimited time, and a pretty fast.
Okay, so do you have any deal breakers?
Nah, but here's my number. 444-4444. Y tú, vida ilimitada.
Okay, guys, so no pop balloons.
For a fast, reliable, and secure connection for your personal or business life, call us at 444-4444 or visit any of our CCT stores and we'll get you connected with the perfect match for you.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin today's interviews with the contestants for Mr. HLSCC. We currently have contestant number 1 on set. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hey, my name is Dakari of Wheatley Adams. I'm your contestant number 1.
All right, Dakari, tell us a little bit more about you. What are you studying? Where are you from? Let's get to know you a little bit.
Okay. I'm originally from the US. I lived there for 2 years and I moved down here with my grandmother and I lived there ever since, but I'm studying small business and entrepreneurship here at this institution.
Awesome. Now, of course, you're participating in a pageant. Usually we do not see a lot of young men stepping into that kind of light. So what inspired you to participate?
Well, it was an array of different things. Mainly, I was watching a production via YouTube and the level of energy and passion that the person performing on the stage brought, it just sparked something in me. And it kind of made me think, why can't I bring this to a local audience? And I thought, who better than the institution that I currently attend? So I joined the pageant, but above all, I joined because I wanted to kind of step out of my comfort zone and, level up my confidence and just build character.
Okay. So in terms of getting ready for the pageant so far, tell me what's it's been like. What do you think you're learning so far? Do you think it's actually helping with your confidence?
Yes, it is actually helping me. I don't want to spoil this, but I'll spoil it. One of my segments, I'm more or less kind of anxious for it because it's kind of odd and it's not really me, but I like it. I like it. That's the real reason I really joined, to be different. And it's really kind of shaping me into that person. Okay,
well, it's good to try new things sometimes. Now, of course, you are somewhat of a social media influencer. Let's term it as such. What would you say has been your proudest achievement so far as you've been building that career and, of course, being a student?
Well, my proudest achievement would be winning the 2024 Student Film Phone Competition. It was hosted by the Film Commission last year. I won it alongside 3 other awards, and it really catapulted my film career and my social media career in that sense, and that's why I'm very proud of it.
And how do you think that has shaped you as a person?
Honestly, it really just changed my life in so many different ways, and because of that, I'm grateful for every opportunity that I get.
Would you say you're a young person who tends to be very in tune with their community?
Not really in the past, but as of now, I'm starting to really understand what is going around me, basically, like knowing what's happening in this community or in this community, because my grandfather kind of prompted me ever since I was small to be in tune with your surroundings.
So in that journey, have you identified any one thing you would possibly change or make better about your community?
Most definitely. In today's society, the older generation tends to not give us, the young people, chances to prove ourselves or prove we can accomplish certain tasks. And because of that, I think if that was to change, we would be a better Virgin Islands or even have a better community overall.
Tell me about a time where you faced a challenge or an obstacle and what you did to overcome it.
Well, I have this constant battle with myself. This is a current obstacle. And I have this obstacle where I don't really fully believe in myself or the potential that I have. And the way I'm trying to overcome it right now is basically just putting myself in uncomfortable situations like this. Like this interview is, I'm not saying it's uncomfortable, but the pageant on a whole is somewhat of a new experience, and I want to really utilize my potential to the fullest.
Okay. Now, of course, being a student, that's, I guess, the school campus forms somewhat of a community for you as well. Mm-hmm. So if you were to create a new initiative in the school, start a club or an organization, what would it be and why?
I think I'd create probably an interview prep club or somewhat like a public speaking initiative to help students because that's pretty much how every career starts, with an interview with either a boss or a supervisor. So I think an interview class or kind of prep session would kind of help with that.
Okay, that's really interesting. Do you wish you had that before you came for this interview today?
Yes, guys.
Yes? All right. Now, it's all about balance. Being in a pageant is not an easy task.
Not at
Being
all.
a student is not an easy task. Additionally, you're a content creator. I imagine you have other extracurricular activities as well. How are you balancing all of that? Is it difficult?
It is, but you just have to time manage and just prioritize, because let's say I was to practice for one of my segments and I have a deadline to meet for, let's say I'm filming for someone. I just have to time manage effectively and say which one I'm going to do first, which one is more important, and just tackle that first.
Is that something that came easily to you, or you had to learn it?
Not really. Like I definitely had to learn it because I have a tendency to procrastinate. Mm-hmm. So it's something that I'm still trying to get used to, which is prioritizing.
Okay. If you could have a conversation with anyone, living or deceased, who would it be and why?
It would be my late grandfather. I talked about him earlier. He was the other half that raised me with my grandmother, and even though there's still questions I want to ask him, but I would like to talk to him and show him the person that I've become since his passing.
That's really nice. Okay. Now, of course, being Mr. HLSCC would mean that you're an ambassador for the student body, you're an ambassador for the college, and of course, you're representing yourself on that wider platform. How would you plan to use that platform, and what do you think the college can benefit from your representation?
Honestly, I think I'd want to be a voice for the students, because often, back to the same, our youths being suppressed, their ideas. So with me being Mr. HLSCC, I would love to kind of bridge the gap between the administration and the student body, basically letting ideas flow so that we can all just, as a HLSCC community, just grow and elevate.
What is your dream career or dream goal after graduating? So you don't have to give me your 30-year plan, but maybe in the first 5 years of graduating, and what steps are you taking to get there?
Honestly, my dream career is filmmaking. I'm already in that space, trying to create short films and collaborating with other filmmakers. But after graduating from HLSCC, I'm looking to go abroad to study, to learn more about filmmaking and heighten my skills.
All right. And how do you think this pageant experience is contributing to that?
Honestly, it is helping me out in so many different ways. It's unreal. Like, at first I was skeptical about it because it's like, why are you running for a pageant? But it's like, no, I'm really, as I said, I'm building my character. I'm leveling up in time managing, prioritizing certain tasks, public speaking, all these different aspects, memorizing, and even just being myself. Because sometimes people tend to put on a facade to suit the environment that they're about to go into, but it's really helping me to be myself and just, get those other, life skills under my belt.
All right, well, that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you for making the time to be here.
No problem.
I want to know if you have any words for your supporters.
Well, guys, the pageant is June 1st, Sunday at 4 p.m. sharp. Make sure you be there because it will be a movie.
All right, thank you, Dakari.
No problem.
And with a quick switch, we're gonna have contestant number 2. And now, as promised, we have contestant number 2 on set. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello everyone, my name is Shimei Peters, your contestant number 2, and I'm ready for action.
Ready for action. There's a lot of energy for this pageant. Tell me, what made you decide to participate this year?
I participated this year as I wanted to become the next ambassador for HLSCC, to be the voice for the students so our voices can be heard as one.
All right, and what do you hope to gain from the experience?
Hope to gain knowledge, more knowledge, to help me with my communication skills, to be a better speaker. Even though I'm outspoken, I want to better myself more. And yeah, that's what I would say.
All right, so tell me a little bit more about you. Where are you from? What are you studying? Give us the basics.
So, I'm from Puerto Rico, but I grew up here all my life. I'm studying culinary arts. That's my program at the college. I want to make my own, I want to create my own dishes. Dishes that haven't been heard of at all. New dishes that will make persons happy and even share among their family and friends.
Awesome, bringing the action on the stage and in the kitchen then.
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Dicing it up.
Okay, tell me, so far, what has been your proudest achievement?
Proudest achievement is earning academic awards from preschool straight up to high school. Now I'm in college, so I'm thinking to earn more as a college student.
Now, it must be really fun to go to graduation with you.
It is.
Okay. So how do you think that has shaped you as a person? Because, you're going through your academic years and you have these strong aspirations for when you get to that point of graduation. How has that shaped you?
Well, I'm a person to always ask questions. So I would say asking questions, getting to learn new information that shaped me to be the person I am today.
Okay. That's always really important for being a student, because sometimes you have a question that maybe your teacher didn't even think of at that point, and it helps you, it helps your class, it helps any other students come after you. So that's always something that's encouraged, asking questions.
And can I add something else?
Absolutely.
Building relationships as well.
Okay. Now, of course, you have your school communities, you have your community at home. What's something you've observed in either of those communities that you think you'd want to change or make better?
I would like to add suggest, as if I do become Mr. HLSCC, I would like to suggest additional programs that can help students a lot. instead of traveling overseas, they can stay right there and experience those programs.
Okay. Can you name any of those programs for us? Is there any you have in mind right now?
I do. I have fashion. I believe the fashion industry is skyrocketing in the BVI, and I would say art as well.
Very important.
And art, it should not just be one specific kind of art, or I don't think that art should be included in any of the different programs that we have. I think it should be its own thing. And then we should have like different arts like sculpturing, graphic design, have its own different own different parts. Yeah.
So then each student has their own ways to express themselves. They can try out different art forms, stuff like that?
Yes.
All right, that's interesting. Tell me about a time where you faced a challenge or an obstacle and how you went about it.
In my late senior year, I faced a challenge with time management. Like, I had issues, family issues at home, and that contributed a lot. Like, it cannot change a lot of things. My perspective, my mindset a bit. So it I've been down for a bit, but I believe that this experience with the pageant is really lighting up. It's really lighting up my mood.
Okay, well, it's good to hear that you're finding things to bring positivity back and, keep you up in spirits. Yes. Yeah. Okay, now, if you were to start a new club at the school or start your own youth organization, tell me what it would be and why.
It would be Youth Empowerment. That would be the title of the club. I picked that club because I believe that we should shape our youths. We should always encourage our youths, as I'm for the young people. So I believe we should always include our youths in everything that we do. Because our youths, our youth is for the future.
Absolutely. I like to say all issues are youth issues because the youth are the people of the future, like you said. Now, of course, you mentioned having some personal struggles. You're, of course, doing your academics, and now you're doing the pageant. How are you balancing all these things?
It was a lot, but with the strength of the Lord, I got through it all.
That's a full response for sure, because sometimes you have to call on the strength that's beyond you, right?
Yes.
If you could have a conversation with anyone, living or deceased, who would you speak to and why?
I would speak to HLSCC Stout, as he did left back a great legacy behind. I would speak to him and let him know the suggestions I have in mind and walk along him to make these things or achieve these things.
Very good choice. If you become Mr. HLSCC, that is a platform where you're representing yourself, you're representing your student body, you're representing the college, and of course, you're representing the BVI. I think this year we would have seen Mr. and Miss HLSCC over in St. Thomas for Carnival. Yes, so of course, you're representing the BVI. What do you plan to do with that platform?
As Mr. HLSCC, as a future Mr. HLSCC, to help out those, if anyone need any advice and wants to come to me, I will speak to them, let them know what is what, just help them out. I want to be for the people, old and young.
Do you say you find yourself serving that role with students already? Giving your friends advice, being someone other students would come and talk to?
I believe I'm a good person to talk to. That person can reach out to me with anything that may be on their mind, anything they want to confide. Yeah, anything they want to say to me, I believe that I can help them out.
And why would you say it's important to you to be that person and to provide that kind of support for people around you?
Because we don't know what people's struggles are. People go through a lot. So I believe with my little advice, it can bring them from a place that they may have felt down to a place that can bring them up, a place that will enlighten them in life. so they could continue life with this little piece of advice. As persons say, take my foolish advice. So I would like for my advice to carry them from mountains to mountains.
All right, thank you so much. And before we close, I just want to give you a chance to say something to your supporters.
Everyone out there, those who are supporting me, I just want to see you at the the HLSCC pageant on June 4th at 4 p.m. as I will be bringing the action for you.
All right, and with that, we take a quick word from our sponsors, but stay with us because when we return, we have the contestants for Miss HLSCC.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. As promised before the break, we now continue with the lovely young ladies vying for the title of Miss HLSCC. We have contestant number 1 on set. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Kimia Chung. I'm 18 years old. I'm majoring in human services with the hopes of becoming a child psychologist, and I'm your contestant number 1.
All right, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me, what made you participate in this pageant, and is this your first pageant?
This is my first pageant, and what made me run for this pageant was being able to advocate for youth and child mental health awareness.
Okay, what do you hope to gain from the experience?
I would hope to gain a stronger voice and a bigger platform to also help these youth with their mental health and raising more awareness for it.
All right, that's a very good cause. Tell me, so far in your 18 years of life, tell me about one of your proudest accomplishments.
One of my proudest accomplishments would have to be becoming my 6th grade valedictorian. It taught me a lot of hard work and perseverance, and it also made me strive for all the goals I set before myself.
Are you someone who pays a lot of attention to her community?
I do in a certain sense, but I pay more attention to the aspects of mental health scene as I feel like it's a big problem in today's society, and I would like to contribute mostly towards that segment.
Okay, so let's look at mental health awareness. What's one way you would like to raise awareness in the community or in the student body about mental health?
I would love to open a Mind Matter Club. It basically is for peer help, so students can talk to each other about what they're going through, different experiences, feel as though they're one, a sense of unity, and also have something to fall back on in case they need help. And I would also like it to bring a bit of mental health education, so different coping skills and things they can learn on how to help with it.
Okay, tell me, why mental health? Why did you zone in on that platform?
Personally, I've been through a lot, and I feel as though I'm not the only one going through things like this. And I feel like I persevered through everything and I've overcome the things that I went through. I feel like people don't always feel like they can. So I want them to know that I believe they can and they will.
Oh, that's very sweet. Okay, so tell me about a time in life where you faced a challenge and you really had to dig deep to overcome.
It would definitely have to be online learning during the pandemic because I'm very hands-on. It was really tough, but I felt like I asked for help when needed. I set the goals for myself and I told myself I will achieve them and I have to achieve them.
All right, good job. I know that online learning was a shock for a lot of students. How old were you during that time frame? Like what years of your life was that?
I was about 12, 13.
Yeah, going through the pandemic. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. Okay, tell me, okay, so you're doing the pageant right now, you're a student.
Yeah.
How are you balancing all of this and how do you find time for yourself?
I set a routine. I've been in extracurriculars a lot. I do sports as well. And I feel like it kind of came second nature to me, balancing both academics, extracurriculars activities, and also the pageant is a big thing to also juggle. But I feel like once I set myself that I have this goal I want to achieve, it's just another thing to go through.
Just another thing on your day. Tell me a bit more about sports. What discipline do you train in?
I do a lot of sports.
Okay.
I've done volleyball. I've also did cycling and track and field. I feel like I've also made that mindset kind of strong, being goal-oriented, that once I feel like something's weighing on me, I always ask for help. I always communicate with my coaches. They always reassure me that everything will be fine and that I can get through whatever it is.
I like that you keep mentioning asking for help when you need it, because I think a lot of youth struggle with that.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a very important point to cover in your peer helping club that you might just start at the school, you know? Okay, so if you could have a conversation with anyone at all, living or deceased, who would it be and what would you talk to them about?
I would definitely like to talk to my aunt Iona that passed away. She had a restaurant in our little part of Carrot Bay. I want to know what she really saw for me growing up, because I really looked up to her and admired the way that she ran her business and how she passed it down to other people in our family and stuff like that.
Would you ever like to be a business owner?
Definitely.
What do you think you would do?
I would definitely open up my own psychological clinic, like a place where children can come and talk about their problems they feel like they can't speak about it in school or to another parent member.
Okay. Now, tell me, you've mentioned mental health being that platform for you. How important would you say it is that whoever becomes Miss HLSCC understand those types of needs in the student body?
I feel like it would be very important. If I have to also talk to them, you know, a bit about my ideas, even if I don't win, I would really like to push for it being a cause that really needs to be more paid attention to, because I feel like it really turns a lot in society. Children are really going through it and we are seeing a lot of delinquency from it, and I wish that it would have a different outcome. So to have whoever wins, I would just love to tell them about my ideas and hopes that they listen and do what's best for like our community.
If there's any children, teenagers watching who themselves have, you know, struggles with mental health, what advice would you give them or what tips would you give them in terms of navigating that difficult time?
I would definitely tell them you can get through it. Ask for help if you need it. If you're too afraid, know that your voice is necessary. You need to speak up. Your voice is heard. I hear you. Someone else will definitely take that time to hear you as well. And this is a safe place, especially here at HLSCC. I believe you can come to us with your problems, really talk about it. If you feel as though there's no change, don't give up on it. You will eventually get help.
Right. Now, I think a lot of the time when people hear about pageants, they think the glitz, the glamour, the heels, the makeup. But of course, you're here. We're talking about mental health awareness. And that's your platform. That's the message you're bringing forward. It's carried throughout this entire interview. How important do you think it is that young women also aspire to great things beyond what society deems the box they should fit in?
Right. So it's all, they think pageants are about glitz and glam. There's also the stress of doing something well, like doing really good at it, scoring high. Obviously, there's the thing of winning. Because if you don't win, you have to have that mindset that if I lose, I still try my best, or I can still give to my community in some other way. And I feel like we shouldn't just stick to the gender roles of society as being the pretty ones, the ones responsible for children. We can also stand up and do different things in men's field. There's women in construction, stuff like that they wouldn't believe that we would be able to do, but we do. So like that.
All right. Well, this was an awesome conversation. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have any words for your supporters?
I would like to thank everyone for supporting me. I hope you guys show up and show out on my show. And I hope you guys have an amazing time. And hopefully I win.
All right. And thank you again so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 contestants this year for Miss HLSCC, but we only have 2 in the building today. So right now I'm going to invite contestant number 2 on set. And now, as promised, we have on set contestant number 2 for Miss HLSCC. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hello, everyone. I am 18-year-old Shakira Patricia Hendrickson, a business administration major at the Hamilton Laverty Stout Community College.
All right. Welcome, and thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, tell me, why did you decide to participate in the pageant this year?
What actually inspired me to join the pageant this year is the fact that I've actually had people tell me that they can see me running for a pageant. And I think if others see my potential, then I have no reason then to see that potential in myself.
All right, very well put. What do you hope to gain from this experience?
I would hope to gain the opportunity to really come into myself as a young woman. Yeah.
Okay, how's the journey been so far? Do you think you've been accomplishing that? Do you think you've learned anything new that you're going to carry on?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me about any one of the things.
Well, I think during this pageant, I've really learned to really articulate myself. I've learned to walk with more poise, stand taller, and be a well-rounded individual.
All right. Now, in all your 18 years of life so far, tell me about one of your proudest achievements.
I would say one of my proudest achievements is when I entered the Student Smartphone Sailors competition, and I caught prizes such as Best Documentary, Best Editing, and Best Cinematography without having any prior film experience.
Awesome. How do you think that shaped you as a person?
I think it inspired me to become more creative, and now I'm doing modeling and I'm more involved in the film industry.
That's nice. Do you think, so the last few years, you've been doing a lot of things that have had you step out of your comfort zone?
Yes.
How has that been?
It's been a good lesson for me. It encourages me to just be myself and do whatever I want.
Okay, I love that. Girls can do whatever they want. Now, of course, you are a student and you also have your community at home.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about one thing you've observed about your community that you would like to make better.
Something I'd like to change in my community is probably at HLSCC. I know we have a vast variety of courses, but we could include more creative courses, such as a film course, perchance. And I think that would be lovely to really broaden the film industry in the territory.
And that would be wonderful, especially since that's a push by the BVI Film Commission as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would blend nicely in with that. I hope that the people who can make that happen are listening. Now, tell me about a time in your life that you faced a significant challenge or obstacle and how you went about it.
Well, I can't recall a specific setback, but usually when challenges arise for me, I try to keep a positive mindset. I remind myself that every problem has a solution and you just have to find it.
All right, that's a very, very positive outlook. Now, if you become Miss HLSCC, of course, you are an ambassador for yourself, your school, the student body, the territory, and it goes on and on and on. What do you plan to do with that platform?
I would use my platform as Miss HLSCC to really discuss topics that are important to me, such as film or entrepreneurship.
All right, and of course, you can already study entrepreneurship at HLSCC, so that's already adding to the school's mission and agenda with the student body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you talked a lot about film, so I think I know what the answer to this question might be, but if you were to start a new club or organization on campus, what would it be?
If I were to start a club or organization on campus, it would be centered around entrepreneurship.
Oh, okay.
Because I would like students to I would like to get them involved in making their own businesses as opposed to working a regular 9 to 5, or I would like them to work for themselves or inspire them to consider working for themselves.
All right. And that's always a great place to start because there's so many graduates who don't know what they're going to do next.
Right.
So it would be fantastic to start a job or start a business, I should say, while you're in school, and then you carry it on after graduation. Now tell me, how are you balancing everything that's going on right now? So you have your academics, and of course you have the pageant and whatever extracurriculars you also participate in.
Well, to balance my personal life and extracurriculars, I would really focus on my time management. I think time management is important for that balance and that stability.
Do you have any time management tips that you want to share?
I would say Google Calendar. Yeah.
That's a good one, and I use that one myself. Now tell me, if you could have a conversation with anyone, living or deceased, who would it be and what would you talk to them about?
If I could have a conversation with anyone, it would be the late Honorable J.R. O'Neill, as he was an entrepreneur, as I also aspire to be, and I would just discuss with him his perspective on entrepreneurship.
All right. Now tell me, after you graduate, what's your plan? What do you want to do fresh out of HLSCC, maybe in the next 5 years? What's your plan for that?
I would love to study abroad and get my degree in marketing, and I would also love to start my own business, my own phone case brand.
All right, tell me a bit about that. Does your business have a name? Have you already started? How
I've
can
already
people find out about
started.
it?
It's in the works, and it's entitled Case on VI, and it's a Virgin Islands Pride phone case brand.
Nice.
Yes.
How did you come up with that idea?
Well, during my time in the Virgin Islands Training Academy, I really started to feel connected with my culture, and I thought it would be a great idea to have something symbolic of my culture. So I have collections such as the tart collection. You could rep your favorite tarts, and I just think that's so cute to profit off of it.
That is so fun, profiting off of the tart war. I see you definitely ready for that marketing degree.
Yes.
All right. Before we close, I just want to give you a chance to say anything to your supporters.
Okay. Thank you so much to everyone that has been supporting me along my journey. I truly appreciate it.
All right, and thank you so much for making the time to be here today. Are you excited for June 1st?
I'm very excited.
All right, and we're excited to see you take the stage as well.
Thank you.
And viewers, with that, we come to the end of the interview, but not the end of the story for these wonderful contestants. We hope you stay abreast with any updates on the HLSCC Facebook page, and we hope to see you at the Eileen Parsons Auditorium on June 1st. We will be in the building as well, so we hope to see you there. Stay tuned to Tweet4 Media for more great content.